are here recording in the studio another episode of Ink Medicine. Today, I thought I would tell you what a day in the life of me looks like a typical day with some variations because not all my days are the same. It's extremely funny to me that anybody would find this interesting, but I know that I find it fascinating with other people that I follow and other professionals, other personalities. When they record things like this, I find it fascinating. So I thought that I would do one for you. So I wake up about 7:30. I get up and I go and put some hot water on because the first thing I want to consume in my morning is hot water. I know it sounds really not appealing to most of you, but I grew up with the idea that hot water, it's almost like tea. And it's the temperature of the water that makes it delicious to me and also kind of helps me gently wake up. So I go put on the water, come back to my bedroom, I open the blinds, I let my dog out of her crate. I let her get in the bed with me and we snuggle. I come get my hot water and I get back in bed with her and we snuggle and maybe I read or look at my phone until she starts to whine to the point where I need to get up and let her out. My dog Lulu communicates almost entirely through whining. So she gets whiny, I let her out, I feed her. That's kind of why she's whining, because she's always hungry. And so she's demanding her breakfast. I feed her. By that point, I've drank my water, I've done a little reading. So I get up and I put on water to boil for my eggs. I eat almost the same breakfast almost every day. And it consists of soft-boiled eggs, sometimes toast, gluten-free usually, sometimes rice, like rice noodles, greens, sometimes bacon, sometimes sausage, chicken sausage, and sesame oil, sesame seeds, some umi vinegar. So it's generally my breakfast. So I get up and while my water is boiling and my eggs are cooking and my noodles are cooking and my greens are cooking, I do a little bit of tidying up around the kitchen, just little chores around the house that need to be done. Then I eat my breakfast. Then I transition gently into some admin. I do my admin, which consists of emailing people back, looking at my schedule, looking to see if I have gaps in my schedule, if I need to fill gaps in my schedule, if I need to make more appointments happen for the month ahead in order to fulfill what I need to make financially. Sometimes I do a little drawing at that time. Sometimes I do a little reading if there's not a lot of admin to do. Then I have about an hour and a half for that usually in the morning. And then I go to my CrossFit class at noon. I've been doing CrossFit since I was about 25, 26. I'm almost 39. I'll be 39 next week. And it's still a sport I enjoy greatly. I do love sports, but I don't like team sports. I don't like to be relied on by teammates. I don't want to disappoint people. So I really appreciate a sport where I can compete just against myself, but be in the company of other people. I love my CrossFit gym. It was started by a queer, non-binary friend of mine who I met through another gym. And I love supporting them. I love supporting their specific gym and their dream. I knew that they had this dream for years before they opened this gym. It's fairly convenient for me to get to. I'm just stoked that it's there. I'm stoked that I can go to it. I'm stoked that they have built a community that is so enjoyable for me to work out with. So I go there about 4 days a week, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are my CrossFit days. When I come home, I shower and I eat my lunch and then I go to the shop to meet my client. This version of my day is the short work day. This is a day I have a few days a week and then a few other days a week. Instead of doing the admin and the CrossFit, I am already at work. So this version of the day is kind of like a really nice, mostly chillaxed sort of a day for me. I do like these days. I didn't used to have these days before the pandemic, but after, I just couldn't go back to completely full-time work. I used to work a full day every single day that I worked, and now I work half my days are full days and half my days are half days. And that feels way more doable for my mental health and my physical health, because tattooing is quite difficult on the body. So I see my client. What's cool is my space is private. So it's just me and my client. There is nobody else working out of there with me, at least not at this time. Perhaps that might change in the future. But right now it's a private, sweet, cute, warm, beautiful little space that my clients tend to love. After my client is gone, it's about 5:30 at that point. I take my dog for a walk around the neighborhood, around my shop. It's very quiet, sleepy kind of a neighborhood. And then we come home. And at that point, I feed her because she's demanding dinner with her whines. It's how she communicates, as I said. Very cute, but very whiny. I feed her dinner right away. And then I start to make mine. For dinner, I usually have, or I often have, bonza pasta, which is a garbanzo bean-based pasta. It's fairly high in protein and fiber. It's really good. It's really good for you, and it's good. And I have that usually with some cottage cheese. I have a probiotic cottage cheese that I like. So I have it with that, and I have it with some kimchi and maybe some pine nuts. Sometimes I throw in some chicken into it. And that's generally my dinner. And sometimes I have a glass of wine after that, or some chocolate, or both. I know, food, right? Like weird, but I think we all like to know what each other eats. So I forgot to say what I eat for lunch. My lunch is usually vegetables, just like vegetables either cooked or raw, cucumbers, carrots, or cabbage that I cook in the air fryer, and chicken breast. That's oftentimes what I have. And sometimes I'll throw in some more of those like rice noodles that I also have with breakfast. That's my lunch. And I oftentimes season my food with sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, sesame seeds. I love sesame seeds. Sometimes sunflower seeds and pine nuts. I love all those things too. And some vinegar, either ume vinegar or apple cider vinegar. So here we are. We're at home. We have eaten our dinner. Lulu and I, that is, I draw or read, or sometimes watch things, sometimes at the same time. Like I like to watch reality TV while I draw because I don't really have to watch it, but it's like someone's in the room talking to me. So that's what I do before bed. And sometimes there's laundry to hang up. Sometimes there's cleaning up to do. Whatever the thing is, I do some light activities before bed. I go to bed, sometimes also read before I turn my light out. There you go. That's my day, a day in the life of a tattoo artist. Here is another example of a day in the life, a Thursday. What happens on a Thursday? It's a special day. I wake up about 7:30, as usual, and I drink my water. And then at 8:30, my best friend comes over. She lives next door to me, and that is amazing. So every Thursday, unless one of us is out of town, we have tea together. Tea and breakfast. We call it tea, but it's actually tea and breakfast. She comes over at 8:30. We sit around, we chat, we drink our tea, we eat our food that I made because it's at my house. And then she leaves about 10. She starts her meetings about 10, so she leaves. And I have my consults at 10. So then I have a couple consults, lasts a couple hours, a few consults with new clients over Zoom. And then I go to my gym. And after that, I usually record or edit podcast episodes. Sometimes I do other errands. Sometimes I do some drawing. Sometimes I cook. So then I have the afternoon, kind of whatever is needed to be attended to is what I do. And then about 5 p.m., my bestie and I go to the pottery studio. We have a pottery studio about a mile up the street, owned by a queer person and basically run and outfitted by all queer folks. It's pretty much a queer space, which is so cool. Living here in Oakland, really have a lot of access to queer spaces, like my gym, like my pottery studio, like a lot of tattoo shops around here, and businesses and other gyms, restaurants. There's a lot of queer folks here, and I love it. So we go to the pottery studio. Usually for about 3 hours, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. And we make things, usually hand-built, sometimes on the wheel. We've been doing that for a year and some. We took some classes. Now we're members. And so we spend time there and we catch up some more. And sometimes we drink wine. And sometimes we chat with other people. And sometimes we don't. And we are there. That's our usual Thursday routine. We see each other a lot on Thursdays. And that's so great. And then when we're done, sometimes we just come home. And sometimes we stop by the grocery store, which is right there by the studio. And that is the end of our Thursday. We part. We give each other a hug. I go inside. I say hi to my dog. Usually I've already fed her by then. I finish my night by doing some reading, drinking some more hot water. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that. I drink hot water at night too, morning and night. No lemon, no sugar, no tea in it, just hot water. And there you go. That is my Thursday night. To end this ridiculous episode, I will say that this was quite silly for me to talk about. But if you did enjoy listening to this recounting of my day, let me know. I have some other thoughts and ideas for future episodes, sort of in this style, probably more relevant to actual tattooing, if you're curious. I didn't have a whole lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on. Not much of it is relevant to the podcast. So here you go. I hope this was a fun little episode. Perhaps you missed most of what I actually said and just felt soothed by my voice. And I appreciate you regardless. Thank you so much. I will talk to you very soon.